This is showing how folks come out and they are giving those second chances by being referred to LINC, the local reentry, and other agencies, the connections that we have to make sure that those second chances are given to individuals that are so deserving. They paid their debt to society. So it's now for them trying to get their start back in life, and we're supposed to be here to support them. And this is what we want to be able to do. Refer them to another agency, if not through by ours, to get the service they need, to give them what they need to go back into society and be successful.
I actually started completing a film, and in the process of completing a film, I wanted to film the movie. So I decided to take the same bad avenue of jumping off the stoop left, for the investment of it. And in the process, I was incarcerated. I did 8.5 years, and that time, it gave me enough time to reflect. But it was kind of shocking to me that in the 8.5 years that I was incarcerated, partial of those years, that when it was discovered, actually November 27th, 2024, that I had cancer, that prison was so uncaring and emotional about the situation that they just actually said, hey, there's nothing we can do about it. You're on your own. And my parole officer and a partner sat in the parking lot of New Hanover County Correctional, which is known as 025 Minimum Custody Facility, and they said, what are we going to do? I showed her the map of the Tin Park, and I said, that's what we got. And she was like, man, we got to figure out something. So one of them said, why don't we just drive next door and see what LINC's going to do? And I said, LINC's is next door? So that is right there. I was accepted into LINC, and that was a blessing. That night that I slept at LINC, I don't know if any of y'all been in the campus. Them beds is really fluffy. Really fluffy. They give you satin sheets and a fuzzy blanket. I'm telling you, no lie. I slept very comfortably. The shower was nice and warm. It was nice and clean. Food. You will not lose weight at LINC. That I can tell you. And I'm laying in bed and woke up the next day, and I'm like, wow. It's like it felt like stress and all the relief was taken off my shoulders. It's like being stuck in a position where all your problems, anything that you have on your shoulders is relieved. Like you got time to think. So I was not in desperate mode anymore. Anything and everything you would need, to transition back into society, it was right there. That's how I made it simple. When you look around, you get, wow, what type of heart does it take to do this,
Then I just got caught up with, different crowds as I got older. And the result of that, I ended up having to go to prison. I don't regret the things that I went through, so I'm able to understand and be there for someone with just being more understanding and more caring and having that compassion. Lately, where the way I look at life is so totally different. I look at life as life is gonna show up, but I don't have to give up. The blessings of how I look at it is I came through LINC. I always knew this wonderful, amazing woman right here that anytime I went through something, wherever she was at, she will always take my hand and say, Tiffany. And for some reason, again, that connection of having people like Ms. Thomas and like Ms. Wilmer to be able to just be there. I took the peer support class, I took the community health worker class. I already was in the field, so it just gave me just the credentials to have behind me. And what I now tell all clients is, being that I have that experience, it is totally up to you how you want your story to be. If you want your story to be and you out in the streets, that's your choice. We still gonna be here waiting for you, and we still gonna love you, and we still gonna try to make sure you get something to eat, but we can't make you do anything.
And I started getting in trouble with the law exactly once I got kicked out of high school. I was the athlete in school. I had the recruiting from several D1 colleges, and I just went the other way. I don't know, was it girls or was it substance abuse? I didn't start smoking weed till I turned 18. Didn't have a drink till I turned 21. And got my first time in trouble. You know, I used to get a lot of slaps on the wrist because my sister was in her position and she saved me all the time. But I might get the charges, but I never got the time, the jail time. So my record built up with a bunch of convictions that, you know, I was doing, but I was getting slaps on the wrist because who I was, my sister. And I moved to Jacksonville, Florida, where my brother was at, and that's when things changed. My sister couldn't help me no more because I'm in a different county and it's day and night from North Florida to South Florida. And my first trip to prison, I did almost 8 years, 7 months, and 7 years, 10 months for dealing in stolen property and a couple other things. So when I got out of prison in 2013, I went back to Palm Beach County and I was looking for programs such as LINC. And there was really nothing. Well, I didn't know of any. I just remember my transition counselor used to tell me, if you ever find yourself in dire situations, you know, call 211, which is the United Way crisis line. So my mom picked me up June 21st, 2013. And you know, she expressed to me like, baby, I love you, but with your lifestyle, you know, and my husband, they don't coincide with each other. You can't stay here, you gotta figure something out. So I called the 211 and they sent me to a place called Clean Time in Lake Worth, Florida. And through that and a program from St. Anne's Catholic Church Services, they helped me out so much. And they helped me get into like a transitional living house. And I thought I was smarter than the average because I still was young-minded. I missed all them years. Prison didn't help me grow mentally. It just made me a better criminal at that time. So I got out, started selling drugs, and boom, went back to prison 4 months later for trafficking and heroin. And got out. After that, I got out again. I did about 3 years for that. I had a lot of money, legal money that I used to get my lawyers and buy myself out of that situation. So when I got out the next time, I moved back to Jacksonville and made my first son. And I was 33 years old. My son, I had him, and he changed me a little bit, and I got into the culinary field, but I still had some issues that I wasn't addressing. And while I was in prison, my sister passed away in a car accident. So I had a lot of issues that I didn't realize I had and didn't know how to address it. And so I just, I bounced around from girl to girl and job to job and using drugs. And I always thought, okay, maybe I could just use a little weed. It's not bad as other things. Then I got into other things, ended up back in prison again. And I bounced around a little more. Then ultimately, I get out of prison in 2021. And towards the end, talked to my mom, and she lived here in North Carolina. She lived in Little Washington, which is the Greenville area. I went there, and I tried for a week or two to stay straight, and it didn't work because I ended up back in prison in North Carolina this time, another state. So after the fifth time in prison, the fourth time actually, I just about had enough. And I didn't want to go back into a place where I couldn't flourish. And I heard a lot about Wilmington. They help with substance abuse issues. And I had received, we got tablets in prison. They have tablets. And I had received an email from LINC program. So when I seen it, I read about it, did a little research, asked my counselor about it. And she contacted me with Miss Sarah at the Star Center. And I did the phone interview. And she said, yeah, you've been accepted. And I didn't really know what to expect at first because, every place has its rules and tell you certain things and guidelines and the stuff that you got to do. So I followed it, and I got LINC. I got out of prison this year, February 16th. I got there, they helped me out, and I'm so grateful for them as far as in everything, getting me lined up with my mental health situations, with clothing, just everything you can possibly think of. Any need or necessity you need, they got it. They helped you out with it. And I helped parlay that into me getting 2 certifications, my food service management through ServSafe and the food service handler through ServSafe. They helped me get those like that. And now I'm in the process. I have my license back in another week. Then they also helped me, I'm real close to graduating the program. And I was told, that they're gonna help me with the permanent support housing. Because I just landed a great job yesterday. I get $22 an hour.
Oh yeah, I like that.
I just want to show them, great gratitude, a lot of gratitude, so that I appreciate it. And that's about the size of my story.
And they said, ha ha, gotcha. And when they said, I gotcha,
That was it.
that was it. Because I went before that judge. They said, no bail. Oh, wait, whoa. Oh, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. Y'all been let me go home. They told me, no. I told you. When I got home to you, you was going to know it. And they meant that. So my first stint in prison was straight max. I said, I finally got to hell alive. And I go to prison, I come home again, and I find Frankie. I find LINC. I was one of the first girls in the house on, I want to say it's 5th Street. I really can't remember. I knew it was on like the north side. But thank God for him and his wife and the fact that they were kind, loving people who owed me nothing and gave me everything. And that was the start of my journey of saying, you know what, enough is enough. And if I do the right thing, eventually the right thing will happen, regardless who I have in my life. And so now I'm a peer support specialist and a community health worker, and soon to be a drug and alcohol counselor. If we can go on and make this happen, baby. Let's get it. And I thank you because you guys look at me and see me for who I am, and you like me regardless. And I ain't got good sense. I don't even claim to have it. And as I look around at some of my new clients, I love y'all as well. And when I come authentically. Who I am is what I am, and I don't want to change anything. And again, for what I don't know, I thank God for him bringing me people like Demond, Miss Linda. Thank God for Frankie and his vision. Because it started a long time ago.
See, I came up at 25. I came from a good family, but I didn't accept nothing they tried to give me and stuff. I wanted to go to the streets, and that's what I did, because that's what I chose to do. So I went to the streets while I was young and did what I wanted to do. But I look back now, which I'm going to skip this part, but when I went to prison at 25, I caught a life sentence. And while I was in prison, I couldn't see no light at the end of the tunnel, and I was wild. I fought, I stabbed, I did anything I wanted to do because that was the mindset I had at that time, that I was going to die in prison. Because I couldn't see at the end of the tunnel that one day I could get out. I tried to do what I could do to help other people. I came here, LINC got me here, my peer support license, and Dave and D, they took me to the doctor. They do everything for me. I didn't even know how to use a phone when I come out here. They taught me how to use a phone. They taught me so much. And I got so much love for both of them. Because I know God made that happen where I fell into their hand. And of course, if I hadn't fell in their hand, I wouldn't have made it out there. Because I didn't know this world when I came out here. I've been gone 45 years. And I knew nothing about this new world that I was stepping in. People have helped me along the way, have did things for me, Even LINC, I said I was going to come out here and get my peer support license, which I did. LINC paid for it and got it for me. But I ain't used it the way I want to, but I am. But I got to get where I need to be before I can use it and stuff,
That even though you may get on path that's not good for you, you can always straighten things out. And this is the reason why we share second chances, because there's always a second chance out there for you. And there are individuals who support you 100%, but you just got to be able to reach out, and you have to have that mindset to want to move forward.